Hi, and welcome to the great outdoors. I think just throw Rafi a little stone and keep him busy and occupied. Yes, welcome. I'm at Myponga Beach. Strange name, but yes, it's a favourite little beach of mine, mainly because of these posts in water. And today, really, I haven't got a plan at all, any subject matter, anything, except we've got a lot of beautiful cloud, as you can see. It's giving us a sort of magenta bluish feel to the sky, and of course we've got the greeny blue water that will reflect into as well, and we've got these absolutely awesome pylons. So besides doing probably 3, possibly 4 shots here, if the rain stays off, it's been raining a little bit, hence the plastic bag on top of our setup. Yeah, if rain allows play, then we'll get on and do this. So yeah, as ever, first shot straight down the guts of the thing. I've got a choice now of either keeping the tops of these posts below the horizon or pushing them above. If I was doing them below the horizon, I would have to go back higher up and along the focal length and shoot down on them. So I think I'm just going to get lower. Got to watch these waves coming in, it's an incoming tide, but I think I'll get lower, and you can see the splashing. Lower and do a couple of long exposures. So let me set up and do that. I'm just checking to see if any of those splashes have reached me. They haven't, so I might be in a half decent spot here. So let's take everything off. So my usual F16. It's just going to make sure that we lock in our focus on that first little pylon. That almost looks perfect. That looks about right. And yes, so first things first, let's have a look at our polarizer. Now, if I switch the polarizer off, I'm going to get a lot of glare on that water. Sometimes I prefer that because it reflects the sky, and sometimes I prefer it to be dark. If it's dark, I'll lose the bottom of those posts into the water. So I think I'm going to raise that up, switch it off, so I've got glare, and that'll give me separation between those dark posts and the reflected light on the water. If I've got time, what I will do is a second exposure here on these rocks, and I will switch the polarizer on so that the wet rocks, the glare off those is taken away, and see if that gives me a nice contrast. So I think that's what we're going to play with. While we've got that beautiful, beautiful sky, I'm just going to take a couple of 1-second images, and I've focused not just on those pylons but up here too. Let's wait for a big wave. So some nice splashes. That's what we want here. Couple with the water going out. And then we've got some texture. What I really enjoy, and what I'm going to do with this one is, because I'm doing the foreground rocks, just going to take the polarizer off. You switch it on, I should say. So while I'm focusing on these rocks, I'm going to switch the polarizer on, remove the glare, and every so often I'm going to need to just check and ensure that the splashes aren't meeting us yet. And I do like it when the water runs out. Moment seems perfectly well exposed, and I know that if I put a 6 stop on, that will give me 1 minute. Okay, but what will it give us if we put a 10 stop on? Let's have a little think. I'm going to get out my trusty Nissi filter rather than do it by hand or by eye. I'm actually going to factor this in. So shutter is 1 second at the moment, and if we put a 6 stop on, it gives us just over a minute. If we put a 10 stop on, 17 minutes. 9 stops gives us 8 minutes. So I know that, and we're at ISO 100, so really I'm going to go for a 4-minute exposure, I think. So let's go up, lock my focus on those pylons, and it's 9 stops, 10 stops, no, 9 stops. So 9 stops is my 3 and my 6. So I'm just pushing my grad to the very end. I'm going to get my 3 stop and pop that in. I'm going to get my 6 stop and pop that in, so that's 9 stops. And now I'm going to increase my ISO to 200, and then I should be able to get around about a 4-minute exposure. And the histogram is looking in the center, which is good. So we should be ready to go. We'll hit that 4-minute exposure. Go. So, what next? So you'll have noticed that I've pushed these legs very mightily into this sand, That's because the tide's coming in and I don't want it to disturb the legs by the water sort of undercutting the sand and causing the tripod to move. I'm shooting from this side now, from the left hand side to the right. Sunset, if it happens, is going to be behind you, so if it does look like there's going to be any colour, then this side is probably the best. So I'm going to capture this one. So here you can see what we've got. I'm probably just going to edge this very slightly down, just like this. Now I don't know whether I want all of this rock in or a portion of it and have more of that delightful sky. So I'm at 20 mil and this big rock, I like the zigzag that it's setting up here. You can see it's coming in bottom left and it's sort of pointing to the end or the beginnings of this jetty, and then that jetty sort of goes off to the left as well. There's a touch too much space on the right. That looks, yeah, I like that. That looks okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, we're at 1.3 seconds and I'm happy with that for the time being. I'm just going to come down and focus on this rock here in the foreground, and I'm going to take that the next time that the wave retreats, because I want to see that rock in case I use it later on. There we go. So I've got that rock. So there's one coming in. Bit of white water. That's what we want. So I'm zooming in all the way, but this will give me, which is 35 mil, and I'm just going to play with the polarizer. I don't know if that's spray or rain, but we'll play it safe either way. Okay, now I've zoomed in as close as I can, and I'm probably showing as much of that water as I want. I'm probably going to trim it. I will have to edit out possibly this little rock here, or depending if it's 16 by 9 I might lose it. We'll see how I feel about that. With this one, I'm just going to adjust, let's make sure, we'll adjust our soft grad. If you notice again, I position this so the tops are just above the horizon. I don't want to get any lower because you've seen that spray. It splashes are coming in thick and fast. So I think we'll just go for it. So let's see what we've got. I want to see if we can get to 4 seconds. Whoa, that got us, I think. It did indeed. That got us. I want to see if we can get to 4 seconds without blowing out any of our highlights. So I'm just going to check the histogram, and that looks good. So 4 seconds is good. I'm going to focus in the middle of these pylons, and if you notice, I can't get a gap between every single one of them. So I've had to compromise with this set here and tried to line them up pretty much all in line. But what was important, that I got this line of 3 here and that these were separate. So there's a compromise. There was no where I could get every one of them standing proud and on their own. So I'm just going to focus in on that middle pylon, lock my focus, and I know at 4 seconds with a 6 stop. Make sure it's a 6 stop this time. It is. I can get a 4-minute exposure. Now the light is dropping significantly and quite quickly. So sometimes you might need a little bit more, but we'll go with 4 minutes. Pumped in, dialed in. Let's go. So I think I'm going to call it quits. It's the rain looks like it might be on. The clouds are quite ominous, and they seem to be rolling in. If they do break, then I'll be back out and I'll switch you back on. But if not, I'm going to call it here. Yes, here we go. Please look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Until next time, see ya.